In the chill of a February evening in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, Maura Murray's car met the stubborn iron of a snowbank. What followed was a disappearance so complete, it teased the liminal space between legend and tragedy. Picture the scene. A young nursing student, a crashed car, a flurry of snow, and then nothingness. Where did Maura Murray go after she stepped out into the cold? Her vanishing act has woven itself so intrinsically into the fabric of true crime folklore that it almost demands hushed, reverential tones when spoken of. This isn't just a case of a missing person. It's a modern myth, cloaked in the eerie suspense of an H.P. Lovecraft novel, yet tragically grounded in grim, cold reality. On the 9th of February 2004, Maura Murray vanished into the thin, icy air. Earlier that day, she had packed her car, lied to her professors about a death in the family, and set off for an unknown destination. By evening, her black Saturn was found against a snowbank in Haverhill, New Hampshire, with minor damage, but no sign of Maura. Fresh snow fell quietly as police arrived at the scene, finding her car locked and her belongings scattered. Despite the immediate launch of a search, there was no trace of her from that point onward. The conflicting narratives about her actions and intentions in the hours leading up to her disappearance only add layers of complexity to this case. What was Maura running from, or to? Local police treated Maura's disappearance as a standard missing persons case initially, but as hours turned into days with no sighting, the stakes grew ominously. A silent clock ticked away the critical hours following her disappearance, which would later be heavily criticized for what many perceived as a lackluster response. Authorities combed the nearby woods and queried local residents, but the snow-covered landscape offered few clues. The immediate area became a tableau of despair, the chilling cold mirroring the freeze in the investigation. Criticism of early investigative efforts focused on the delayed realization of the severity of Murray's case. Did these early miscues hinder the search for truth? Maura's family, demolished by grief, transformed into tireless advocates, refusing to let her story vanish into the white noise of unresolved cases. Her father, Fred Murray, led the charge, often clashing with law enforcement over their handling of the investigation. Driven by a potent mix of anguish and hope, the family mobilized public support, their efforts marked by countless posters, vigils, and media appearances. Their undying hope became a testament to the enduring power of love in the face of the abyss of uncertainty. Their involvement brought vital attention to the case, but also exposed the profound emotional toll such disappearances exact on families, who are often left to wander in the limbo of not knowing. The digital age, while still in its youth at the time of Maura's disappearance, eventually grew to play a pivotal role. Online forums, blogs, and social media became the new frontier in the quest for answers, hosting theories ranging from the plausible to the outlandish. Amateur detectives, armed with nothing but a computer and an undying curiosity, dissected every piece of available information, sometimes stumbling upon overlooked details that reinvigorated interest in the case. While these web sleuths brought new insights and theories, they also muddled the narrative with unverified information, showcasing the double-edged sword of digital detective work. Over the years, the investigation saw numerous leads that promised much but delivered little. Tip-offs about sightings, cryptic notes, and suspicious activity led investigators down countless rabbit holes. Each lead seemed to only deepen the mystery, adding more questions than answers. The surge of potential clues served as a cruel reminder of the complexity of the case. A complexity mirrored in the twisted paths of the White Mountains themselves. The repeated cycle of hope inflating and deflating became a heavy burden, a yearly ritual that tested the resilience of all those who hoped for resolution. Maura's psychological state before her disappearance, marked by stress and a possible desire to escape, has been a topic of intense discussion. Her mental health, like breadcrumbs scattered in a forest, offer clues that are as telling as they are incomplete. Society's understanding and attitudes towards mental health have evolved since 2004, prompting a reevaluation of how Maura's actions are interpreted. What pressures bore down on her young shoulders, and how might they have influenced her fateful decision to drive into the night? This lens not only reconstructs our understanding of Maura, but also reminds us of the critical need for empathy in handling such cases, where the line between victim and participant may blur. Recently unearthed information has reignited public interest in Maura's case. New witnesses, previously overlooked or unwilling to come forward, have now shared their accounts, suggesting that the truth might still emerge from the shadows. These developments serve as a stark reminder that time can be a revelator as much as it is a concealer. The renewed efforts of law enforcement reflect a persistent hope that resolution is still within reach, even as years stretch into decades. Such breaks in the case underscore the importance of diligence and the possibility that some mysteries may yet find their denouement. Reflecting on the saga of Maura Murray, we find ourselves peering into the abyss of the human condition. Her story is a stark canvas, inviting projections of our deepest fears and our unyielding hope for redemption. As we continue to ponder and probe, the essence of Maura's story, like the woman herself, remains elusive, etched into the collective consciousness of a world wrapped with mysteries. It is a narrative that compels us to look deeper, question further, and never cease our search for the truth, no matter how murky the waters might be. In the silence that follows the storm of activity around Maura's case, we are left with echoes, a reminder that some stories, particularly those scribed in shadows, are destined to remain unfinished, yet forever whispered.